I would like to please invite Sadhguru and Matthew Hayden to please take the stage. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'll just hide this away. I've had a IT mishap straight away. IT, who would have thought? Firstly, I accept the beautiful welcome to country from the Yagra people. 60,000 years of human spirit. Goodness me, can you get a longer, more detailed story, and respect to those people always. It truly amazes me the sheer volume of people that are inspired by Sadhguru. I guess for Australians, we feel a very long way away from the spiritual heartlands of India. But on behalf of Australia, we welcome
Thank you.
you with great sincerity and with great anticipation as well for this evening, which I'm sure will not only be enlightening but will also be a great deal of fun. So on behalf of Australia and Australians, we're a very multicultural society, as you can see by the faces in the room today. The definition of Australia is the faces that we see in front of us, from India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, England, our real sort of heritage lands, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, South Africa. We truly are represented by...
You're missing the Chinese.
Chinese, Japanese. Geez, we've actually... Let's not even get there, because we could list every nation on the planet that's sitting right in front of us tonight. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. Over to you.
Kalo na janati tava jananam, Kalo na janati tava samapanam, Drushto maya tava mahakaraha Yogeshwara Kala Kala, Yogeshwara Kala Kala. Good evening to everyone. Hey, I said good evening. I think a lot of them have been misled by the title Beyond Boundaries. They think you're going to hit a sixer or something.
Well, aren't we?
Well, today we're not talking about the ball going beyond boundaries, we're talking about you and me going beyond boundaries. Please.
It's a beautiful occasion, as always, when you get a lot of people in a room. Is there a specific reason why we gathered here, in your opinion? What's the force that's dragging us all together?
So essentially, the nature of being human is such, no matter where you are, what kind of achievements you have behind you, you're still longing to be something more. This something more, somebody may think more money, somebody may think more wealth, somebody may think more pleasure, more love, more knowledge, but everything that you accumulate in your life only makes the arrangements better, but doesn't really enhance your life. So whether it is consciously articulated within a human being or not, but every human being is longing in some way to enhance their lives. Somebody thinks it'll happen by going to the temple, somebody thinks it'll happen by going to the bar, somebody thinks it will happen with prayer, somebody thinks it'll happen with dope. All of them are aiming for the same thing. Whether it works or not is a different matter. But the longing is in some way to enhance their life. So in this effort, in this longing within every human being, which can never be curbed, no matter what you do, what you give them, human beings will long for something more. So there is something within every human being longing to be beyond boundaries. Whatever the present boundaries, we want to go beyond it. Or to put it in other words, there is something within you which does not like boundaries. That's why you try to smash them. There is something within a human being which doesn't like boundaries. See, suppose, let's say I imprison you in a 5x5 cubicle, you'll feel terrible, imprisoned. Tomorrow we will announce your liberation and liberate you into 10x10 cubicle. You'll feel wonderful for a day. And again you'll feel horribly imprisoned. The next day we will release you into a 100x100 cubicle. You will feel really great. But within 3 days, again, that is also imprisonment. It doesn't matter where I set the boundary. The moment you can feel the boundary, you want to break it. There is something within you which does not like boundaries. So, this longing finds various sorts of expressions. People try through music, art, sport, business. All these efforts are fine, every effort is fine. The longing is fantastic. Through intoxication, through stimulation, every way people try somehow to break their boundaries. But the important thing is, can you stay beyond boundaries? Or do you breach it just for a moment and again come back to the same format? So when this question comes up, this is a very… the Pathanjali Yogasutras were written like this. It's one of the greatest documents on life, written in a very cryptic way so that scholars wouldn't get interested. That's the idea. Because once they get interested, they will write 10 different versions of the same thing. So Patanjali starts this significant document with half a sentence. The sentence is like this, and now yoga. That means you tried money, you tried wealth, you tried relationships, you tried love, you tried pleasure, you tried intoxication, you tried all kinds of things. Everything did something to you, but you know it is not settling you. And now yoga. Happy. So yoga does not mean twisting and turning. Yoga means union. That is, consciously you obliterated the boundaries of your individual nature. Because your individual nature is just your imagination. As you sit here, your boundaries of your body and your mind are just your making. Right now, constantly you're breathing. It is happening in many different levels, but in a most fundamental way, you're breathing. If you close your mouth and hold your nose, you understand you cannot live within your boundary. You have to breach the boundary every moment, otherwise you cannot exist. This is not just in the level of your respiration. Every cell in the body, every atom in the body is in some kind of transaction. If you stop it, you cease to exist. So your very existence is not within the boundaries, but within your psychological framework, you have this sense of, this is me. This is because, see, this solar system, the very solar system in which we are, is a tiny speck in this cosmos. In that tiny speck, planet Earth is a microspeck. In that microspeck, Brisbane is a super microspeck. In that, you are a big man. That's not a small problem. And in the middle of nowhere, we don't know where this cosmos begins, where it ends. Here we are, sitting on this little mud ball and talking all this stuff. Yes, and we think we are doing it. That's the most incredible thing. See, all this mistake and this confusion has happened because creation gave us an individual experience, though we are like a speck of dust in the universe. Though we are a tiny speck, a micro speck in the universe, it gave us an individual experience. We are taking this individual experience rather too seriously and thinking it's real. No, it's just psychological. It's fantastic, it's the magnanimity of creation that it's given us an individual experience. This does not mean you're actually an individual, you're not. You cannot exist for one moment without everything else around you. All these arrangements you did not make, we've messed it up, but we did not make the, arrangements of atmosphere, we did not make the arrangements of the planet functioning in a certain way. We did not make the arrangements of whatever comes out of this planet, nourishes us, keeps us well. This is not our making. So, this sense of individuality has been taken too seriously. Because of that, no matter where you are, in which dimension of life you are, you feel somewhere deep inside trapped. So if you think somewhere a little instinct tells you there may be a solution, there you will be.
Well, let's focus for a second on collaboration, because as an individual can take it that the Isha Foundation is something which is now a global movement. So talk to me about the spirit of collaboration. I mean, how you've built these organisms like a human body that you might describe yourself as maybe a platelet within the human body, but there's this huge now juggernaut that's walking and talking around the world. Tell me about the foundations of that thought, where it originated from, and then the spirit of the collaboration.
I don't collaborate with anybody. Whoever, either they're in front of me or they're not here with me, I make them a part of myself. And this is not my doing, this is the way creation is made. See, you may not be able to stand the person who is sitting next to you, but what they exhale you're inhaling without any problem, isn't it? I'm saying essentially your existence is inclusive, only your mind is exclusive. I made my mind just the way my life is, so it's inclusive. So I don't think in terms of collaborating or confronting anybody, I'm just inclusive. Whether they like it or not, I make them a part of my life, that's all. I don't seek other people's permission to make them a part of my life, I just make them a part of my life. Because I don't need their permission for this. Hello? So out of this, things happen in many different ways, the various activities. Essentially, the fundamental activity is to raise human consciousness in the sense, see, right now, our sense of who I am is only because too much identity with physical self. Your physical body is an accumulation, isn't it so? Hello? Hello? Slowly, you came like this, just this much. Now you became this much just by eating, isn't it? Hello? What you have eaten is just a piece of this planet. If you get it from me now, it'll be good. Otherwise, one day you will get it from the maggots anyway. It is good then also, because for most people that's the only eco-friendly thing they do. But if you get it now, you could transform your life if you understand the soil that you walk upon, the air that you breathe, the water that you drink, everything around you is actually you happening. Yes or no? Yesterday what was you is not you today. What is not you today could be you tomorrow, isn't it? What was soil yesterday, today became food, tomorrow becomes your body, isn't it? So what you call as my body is just an accumulation. Whatever we accumulate, we can claim it is ours. But you cannot say it's me. See, right now I can say this is my vessel. If I say this is me, you know I've lost it. Hello? But this is what you're doing every day. Food appears on your plate, you say this is my food, you eat it and you say this is me. So, consciousness means just this. If your physical body is dominant, you think, feel, act in a certain way because Physical body is always about boundaries. I'm sorry, my physical body is right now leaking a little bit. I need to blow my nose.
Translated, Sadhguru, he had a game of golf. He didn't wear enough clothes and he got cold, and now he's got a cold. See, he is human.
I thought I was playing in Chennai.
I once played in Chennai and I lost badly because I didn't have a glove on, and of course it's 40 degrees, well 38 degrees, and the humidity is so
100%.
thick. It's just like walking through water. I don't know why there's a water crisis in Chennai, because it is all around your face.
Because it's all in the air.
They could just they could put a tray underneath you as you moved around and catch that water, and that would be enough water to sustain you for another day. But I played this round of golf, and every time I'd try and hit the ball, the club would go further than the ball, so I thought, forget golf in Chennai. Sorry, you were saying.
So, if your body is dominant, you think, feel and act in a certain way because you think through your body, or your intelligence works for the boundaries of your body. So naturally, survival instinct will be the strongest dimension of who you are. When survival instinct is strongest, you always want to build a wall around yourself. When survival instinct is strong, you want to build a wall of self-preservation. The walls of self-preservation are also walls of self-imprisonment. What looks like protection today is imprisonment tomorrow. Has it happened to you or no? In many different ways. Hello? You build a wall thinking this is protection. After 2 days you realize this is a prison you built. Of course, built by you, so you cannot easily demolish it, it takes time because so much investment has gone into it. If you identify with your psychological process, once again the boundaries may be little larger than your body, but still it is a boundary. Because all your psychological process only happens with the identities that you have taken in. Maybe your race, your religion, your nationality, your ethnicity, something. You have taken on an identity. Your psychological framework works within that. See, when it comes to body, this is my body, that's your body. Clearly, we won't get this till we are buried, that it's all the same soil. But this is my body, that's your body right now, clearly. This is my mind, that's your mind. Here and there we may overlap, but this is my mind, that's your mind. But when it comes to life, there is no such thing as my life and your life. Right now, the problem with most human beings is their physiological and psychological process is too dominant for them to realize that the life that they are is of a different nature than the body and the psychological structures that they have built. This is like, let's say you and me blew a soap bubbles. We should have brought it actually.
Would have been fun.
So you got this big bubble, I got that big bubble. Now I claim, that is my bubble, the big one is my bubble. It went poop. Then I don't say this is my air, that's your air. Life is just like this is a living cosmos. You captured some, I captured some. Now, the whole science of yoga is about breaching the boundaries of your psychological and physiological structure so that you imbibe more and more life. So after some time, the life that you are becomes more dominant than the body that you are, than the thought and emotion that you are. When your life becomes very significantly more than the psychological and physiological processes, if you sit here, you are a significant life, not necessarily because of what you do and do not do. You're just a significant life, simply by existence you're significant. Once it happens like this, effortlessly you can function. Every human being is doing this knowingly or unknowingly, most of the time unconsciously. Some are depleting, some are gaining. But as there is a science for external well-being, there is a whole science and technology for inner well-being where you consciously obliterate the boundaries of your physiological and psychological boundaries so that the life that you are is so highly enhanced that you are a significant life. It's not necessarily because of what you do. Simply, Your presence and your existence becomes significant. This is something every human being must do because in body, you are not a match for other creatures. Hello? You cannot run like a cheetah, you are not as strong as an elephant, you cannot even hop like a kangaroo. You're no good, actually, physiologically. Hello? See…
Speak for yourself.
No, I'm saying, if you compare yourself with any other creature, what does the body do? It eats, it sleeps, it dies, reproduces and it dies one day. In all these departments, you are no good compared to other species. They eat better than you. There are insects which eat, 50 times their body weight in 24 hours. They sleep better than you, many of them sleep for 3 months, 6 months at a stretch. They reproduce better than you, they produce in hundreds, thousands, some of them in millions. For you just to bear one child, how much fuss? They also die better than you without fuss. So physiologically, you are not a great champion, all right? Among humans, you may be… Matthew Hayden may be good, all right? Among humans, not comparable to a rhinoceros or an elephant, nothing, not even to a gorilla, he'll just smash him up. Among the human beings, he's smashing the ball all the time. That's a different matter. I'm saying physiologically, we are not a great presence. Our significance is our intelligence and our ability to be conscious and inclusive. Every other creature always trying to set boundaries because their whole life is about survival. Once you become a human, survival is not the goal of your life. See, for all other creatures, stomach full, life settled. For human beings, stomach empty, only one problem, food. Stomach full, 100 problems. Because what is human unfolds only after survival is taken care of. When survival is questioned, we are also just like any other creature fighting for survival. Only when survival is taken care of, other dimensions of being human come into play. So human life is not about survival. Physical survival is not the end goal of who we are. We are longing to be something more. How much more do you think would settle you? Hello? How much more would settle you? If I make you the king of this planet or queen of this planet, would you settle? No? What do you want? Okay, the solar system? No? If I give you one galaxy, you will want the next galaxy. This is the nature of being human. Doesn't matter where the boundary is. The moment I see the boundary, I want to break it. So there is something within you longing to become boundless. If you do not find expression to this, do not matter what you have, you remain somehow unfulfilled. So this is what yoga means, that you breach the boundaries of your physiological and psychological nature, that if you sit here, you're a complete human being within yourself.